Hello, you're watching News9 live. The milk war is spilling over yet again in the south. It was first Amul versus Nandini in Karnataka, which became a huge election issue and one that evoked Kannadiga pride and securing the state's milk economy. And it's now Aavin versus Amul in Tamil Nadu. Chief Minister M.K. Stalin wrote to Home Minister Amit Shah asking Amul to desist from procuring milk from state cooperatives' milk sheds in some of the districts of the state. Stalin said that even as it creates unhealthy competition between cooperatives that are in the business of procuring and marketing milk and milk products, he added in a tweet, and I quote, "The decision of Amul to operate in Tamil Nadu is unfortunate, detrimental to the interest of Aavin, and will create unhealthy competition between the cooperatives." Regional cooperatives have been the bedrock of dairy development in the states and are better placed to engage and nurture producers. Therefore, I request Honorable Amit Shah to direct Amul to desist from procuring milk from Aavin's milk shed area. Close quote. Now, even as local brands do stand for cultural affinities, is the milk war brewing in the south more about securing local markets and therefore the economy? What about the choice of consumers in this pail of milk, as it were? What is the real story here? Is it regional pride or something else altogether? Let's debate. In the studio with me, my colleague Karthik Malhotra. Also joining us, S. Venkat Narayan, political commentator, S. Muralidharan, political analyst, Ramesh Sethuraman, senior journalist, and Shyam Prasad Meka, political analyst. A very warm welcome to all of you. I shall come to you in a bit, but first, let's set the context. Like I said, what is it about? Is it about regional pride? Is it about I am a Kannadiga, I am a Tamil, and therefore my local brands? Or it is something else? Karthik, I turn to you for this. Tell me something. This has been going on for some time now, like we saw election issue in Karnataka, but is there kind of business sense behind it?
So there are two ways to look at it, Sudha, and thanks for having me on your show, and it's a pleasure being with you. What are we really fighting for here? Are we fighting for the consumer in the state? Are we fighting for the milk producers of the state? Or are we fighting to safeguard the interest of a cooperative federation and contributors to that cooperative federation? Right. And if you look at it from any of these prisms, the answer is very clear. With more competition coming into the state, consumers tend to benefit on quality, on price, on variety. The allegations against Amul, and I say allegations here, are that the farmer producer organizations and the self-help groups both will be paid more handsomely than what the state federation has set the prices at. Yeah. So, with competition coming, will the producers benefit more? Important critical function here is, do we in the year 2023, 32 years after License Raj got eliminated, do we really need to, as a state, act on behalf of protecting the territory of the geographic territory and convert that into business territory and not let fair market practices enter? I don't think that is the 2023 that we should live in.
Yeah, the license Raj and also liberalization, which was a
That's
great
right.
lesson, absolutely, where we said that, you know, we have to empower the consumers so that they have a wide variety of choice, and it's up to them. And I think a whole tale hangs in there, doesn't it, Karthik?
Absolutely, absolutely. So, you know, again, if you look at why was License Raj done away with, you did not want the big brotherly treatment for your industries to thrive. You did not want them to be subservient to a ruling dispensation and work on their whims and fancies. You wanted more options for the consumer.
Right.
In the case of License Raj, you had international players coming in.
Yes.
And look at other dairy examples thriving in the country. Nestle, for example, does most of its procurement from a small township of Moga in Punjab. Now, should Nestle not have entered Punjab and let Werka, which was the local dairy, continue to run a monopolistic dairy business? Absolutely not.
You just
So
reminded me, Varka, Karthik, remember those butter, that green packet?
oh,
we-
I remember, Sudha. You know, in my childhood, my father was in the Air Force and he was posted in Ambala for
Okay.
many, you know, tenures of
White
his
butter
career.
bhi aata tha, Karthik.
White butter aata tha.
Yeah, I
You used to
know.
get the flavored milk
Yeah,
in
I
these small
know.
little bottles.
Yes.
But did the state, by permitting or by restricting competition to come in, permit a state-owned monopoly to exist? Definitely not. We don't want monopolies to exist. We don't want a scenario where the consumer is at the end of the day forced to consume a particular brand just because they choose to live in the geographic confines of that state.
Absolutely. And let me turn to, he set the context so well. So, you know, something that a lot of consumers do think. Let me now go across to Muralidharan. Muralidharan, is this Aavin argument more about being a Tamil, you know, living in Tamil Nadu? This is what, you know, or it is, we've all moved on, no? I mean, my grandmother used one bar of soap, which I didn't. I mean, I moved on. So, you know, this kind of complete loyalty to a brand is something which was stymied when, like Karthik, my colleague, said, you know, it was license Raj was banned, and of course, later due liberalization. So, tell me, this whole Stalin, Amit Shah, you know, slugfest which is going on, is it around once again, you know, the Dravidian principles of Tamil first, anything else later?
Yes, I think Karthik hit it on the head. Simple reason, the consumer benefits if there's competition. Now, I would go back when Mr. Stalin and the entire Dravidian forces opposed the word of dahi on top of an Aavin milk packet.
Dahi.
My argument was very clear. I said, if you are not going to, write dahi on top, your marketability in the northern states is going to be zero, because not everybody reads English out here. Okay, compared to the English knowledge level vis-a-vis south, it's
Right.
north is pretty low. So one is you're going to lose out in the competition. One. Second is, I don't know whether you know or not, the erstwhile minister for Aavin, Minister Nazar, was recently changed
That's right.
by another. That's because of some form of corruption within DMK. It started with the Diwali sweets, where they were trying to procure sweets from outside using a tender. And that had come to light, and I think a few journalists exposed it, saying that, you know, when you have Aavin, who can produce all the milk sweets, why are you procuring from outside? So this corruption, it's always known. Now, if the chief minister is complaining that, you know, Amul is buying at a, you know, higher price and we are losing out in the market, and that cannot be, you know, taken so seriously, because he should understand it's a free market. Everybody has a right to do whatever I can. Amul being a giant, they would go for a kill, and they already hurt
Right.
by that, you know, that dahi sentiment.
Right.
So obviously they're not going to spare them. I think same thing happened in Karnataka also. And
The
Amul being
Nandini
a
war.
giant,
Yes, yes, Murali, you're
yeah,
right.
see, if you have to survive, you have to buy it at higher price.
Yeah,
It's your
right.
farmers. End of the day.
Yeah, sure. And you know, I did not want to bring Nasir because I wanted to be completely in the ambit of what the Chief Minister is saying. But of course, Nasir is a very important element. Recently, he was moved, there were corruption charges. Of course, several other ministers, PTR Madurai being one, the Finance Minister was also shunted, if I may use that word, to IT. Let me come to Mr. S. Venkat Narayan. Mr. Venkat Narayan, you know, I just want to know from you that, oh, I think that we've lost connection to Mr. Venkat Narayan. We'll wait up for him, but in the meantime, let's go to somebody else. Ramesh Sethuraman. Hi. Ramesh, I just want to know from you that, you know, the other thing is about pricing. When the Nandini war happened, Nandini versus Amul war happened in Karnataka, you know, people who were, all the political parties jumped into it. Let's not talk about that, the elections are over. But then, you know, apart from Kannadiga pride, etc., they said, look at Nandini. Nandini is so much cheaper. I'll tell you what, it is 39 rupees per litre, whereas Amul is much more expensive. It will be 54 rupees a litre. So they said pricing is something which is crucial. I mean, I'll come to you in just a bit. I'm going to turn to Karthik. Karthik, don't you think that really matters? Because milk is an essential. Every household consumes milk unless you're lactose intolerant.
That's right.
You know, but everybody, so do you think this kind of 39 rupees dekhiye or 54, do you think that kind of a thing really matters and we should stand by what is cheaper?
So not necessarily always, Sudha.
Okay.
What happens is, of course, demand and supply curves meet their equilibrium at a certain point.
Okay.
And that sets the tone of what the consumer is willing to at large pay for a particular commodity.
Right.
Now, one could argue that milk is a homogeneous product.
Huh.
Right.
Yeah.
You could very well say, क्या फर्क पड़ता है अमूल का दूध या
नंदिनी
नेस्ले
का
का दूध या नंदिनी का दूध या अवियन का दूध? It is coming from a cow.
Yeah.
The farmer who is processing the milk, the procurement process, all of that is the same. At a milk level, you will never be able to really differentiate which cow in which district of which state has produced that milk. But if a corporation or if an organization decides to price milk at a certain point, let the market tell them whether they are going to succeed or fail.
Oh, right.
If there is competition in the market, you also have epigamia, Greek yogurts in the market. You also have country delight, obnoxiously priced, but there is a market for them. There is a market for any product at any price. The number of takers will differ.
I know.
But does that mean that, again, does that mean we let a particular organization or a particular brand monopolize that market under the guise of, hey, as a state, we want to act in the interest of our populace and
of our farmers, of our people.
Or for farmers,
Yeah.
and prevent them from selling
Yeah.
at a higher price to somebody who's coming from another state.
Absolutely. And Ramesh, would you like to take that question? You know what Karthik of course said, but I want to hear your point of view on this, that pricing being very, very important. A lot of people in Chennai, for instance, said, why should we shift to something else? We have other local brands also when we go to the supermarket, but they are very expensive.
Yes. First of all, thank you, Sudha, for calling me for this show, because
It's
I come
always a
from a
pleasure.
family. The reason why I'm telling this, because I grew up with my dad's business, which was into dairy and dairy products.
Lovely.
Wow, lovely.
My dad once used to be called king of premium milk products in Chennai. Right, we used to supply it for 5-star hotels. So just coming back to the thing, it is a very, very complex subject we are talking today. And one thing I would proudly say today is that our family, because my dad later gave this business to his friend. But having said that, one thing that I would like to tell is that we transformed over 1,500 families' lives with this. How? Because we used to lend money, make them put a little bit of money and then buy cow. And for the remaining amount, every day they would get the milk from the cow and then give it to the cooperative society. And then end of the month, it will be calculated, and whatever they are supposed to pay for the cow, that will get deducted. So it is even much cheaper than taking a loan from a bank or whatever it is, right? Just to give you an example. But in the past, if you look at it, typically you used to have farmers having land, and they will also have 1 bull or 2 bulls, either for cart or for lowering the land, something like that. And then they will also have cows. So here, the cows, for feeding them, some husk from your rice plants and all these things, so that comes there. And then in addition to that, whatever you extract, the oil seed extracts, right? We call it punak. Exactly. Exactly.
Let's say that word. No. Why are we looking for that?
In the interest of this thing, right? Punak is one thing.
Yes.
And the second thing is tavudu. Tavudu is also another thing.
I know.
Yes. Right? When you polish the rice, you get that rice bran. So all these things, today we consume them, by the way. Diet foods, whatever. So, but that they used to give it. So they used to produce the yellu, as we talk, the gingerly seeds, right? Yeah. And then many other things. All these things are fed. So literally the fodder cost was zero for the farmers. In return, they were getting all the benefits and all the byproducts. Let's say the cow dung, they were using it as an organic manure. They didn't have to. So it's like a vicious, a natural farming cycle, whatever it is, self-sustainable, right? So whatever the milk they were getting, it's almost like a free of cost for them. So that's the way it was working. But today, if you look at it, they have to buy these animal feed from external sources. They have to spend a lot of money in maintaining these cows and so many other things. So as a result, the production cost for milk continues to go up. And the second thing is, many farmers, as we know, are giving up farming, or lending their lands for let us say
Right.
lease or something. That is on one part. The second part, what is they see this having cows and all that as a costly and tedious affair, because they can't have enough workmen for salary or something, because the cost of the labor is also good, and so many other things. So one side, Aavin is procuring it from the cooperative society. Not just Amul, please understand, even the private players are procuring it from these cooperative societies. It is unfair from the government side. Instead of them increasing production, a classic example is during
I'll come back to you.
Jayalalitha's
Ramesh, other guests are, I'll come back to you. So you're basically saying it's the whole Gujarat angle, maybe, Amul, Karthik, Dr. Kurian made us proud. He started this white revolution. It's one of the defining moments in the history of this country. So Ramesh, just quickly let me come back to you. Do you think it's because it's Gujarat, it's Anand and it's, Amul, that's why the entire hullabaloo? Before I go to Shyam Prasad.
Because they see, yes, because they see this resonating well in Karnataka. So now that DMK being part of the opposition alliance, they want to use this for political purpose.
All right.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, thank you for clarifying. I'll come back to you. Shyam Prasad, look at this. I mean, it's constantly one sees, and we are doing this story basically because milk is an essential. Nandini happened in Karnataka. All the political parties jumped into that bucket of milk, pail of milk, whatever you want to call it, and now Aavin has started. So look at this. What do you think this is? This is more about economics, as it were, because Karthik explained it so well, right? He said free market, we should have a choice. Someone, Ramesh said that, hey, listen, this is all politics. How do you look at it, considering you're from the Congress party?
See, I look at it in a different way. I totally agree with what Karthik is saying. We need more competition. The producer need to get a better price, and the consumer need to get a better quality and lower price. These interests, as long as they are taken care, I hate to support any government-driven license Raj. Okay, so that is the part. But look at what we are dealing here. These are generic principles. What we are dealing here is milk, right? Which is an essential commodity. We are proud of Amul and what it did. It transformed the milk consumption in the country. We are proud of that experiment. No question about it. But when you understand the milk thing, where will the cost difference, either to the producer or to the consumer, come from? Especially in the case of milk.
Okay.
It comes from the scale of economics, right? So if you increase the scale at which you operate, you have more leeway to reduce the cost or to make it more efficient. Otherwise, it is difficult. And second, so the cooperatives are actually there in place to support small farmers who in their home, they have a couple of cows, a couple of buffaloes, right? So these people are all associated as a cooperative and sell that's how the business runs. If the private sector, see, we can talk about the same language like a corporate honcho and say competition needs to be there. Yeah, we need to operate at a much higher scale and all. Okay, fine. Who is stopping you? The corporates can go and have huge cow farms and buffalo farms. Why are you running behind the small one or two buffaloes, right? There is a culture where it is essential and its availability. The availability of milk actually improves the human development index in those states, every state.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
It is not easy to say, okay, better competition, I am coming, I will buy all the milk. Once I buy all the milk, I am actually denying the milk to your state. I might export it. Fine, right? In that case, give permission to operate at national level to all the cooperatives.
Right. Shyam, I'm interjecting, and my apologies to you, Shyam. I'll come back to you. because Saravanan Annadurai, who is the spokesperson for the Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam, DMK, is joining us. Saravanan, nice to have you on the show. This is Sudha here. I just want to know from you the entire, we are trying to understand if this is what Stalin did, write a letter to Amit Shah about the Aavin versus Amul, debate. I mean, is it about Tamil pride, as always, that the DMK insists on, or is it more about economics here? Does it make for smart economics here, Saravanan?
Nothing more than that. The Aavin is a state cooperative milk society which is procuring milk from all the dairy farmers since 1981. And we have created an ecosystem of security, and we have made available all the infrastructure to the local farmers so that they can nurture their business and the economic development of their respective families and the villages and societies. This we have been doing so long.
Yeah.
And suddenly, a behemoth, a multicultural cooperative society, comes in and says, no, we are going to procure milk at a higher price. You better compete with me. See, this is not how competition has to be in a welfare society. This is not where purely economics works. This is not about purely economic might. This is about a just system. We are selling the milk. Aavin milk is sold at a much lesser price than that of Amul. Say if we allow Amul to come in and procure at a higher price, the higher price definitely will translate into a higher milk product to the end consumer.
Right.
We are trying to avoid that. So that is why we oppose this. And yet another aspect is this. Tamil Nadu, we are producing only 1 crore liter of milk every day.
Right.
But the demand for the state of Tamil Nadu is around 2.2 crore liters of milk every day.
Right.
So we are procuring it from the other states.
Yeah, but before I remind you, of course, you must know in 2014 what happened. We will talk about it. My colleague Karthik Malhotra would like to ask you a question.
Mr. Anandurai, I just want to understand that, about 35 lakh liters per day, if the numbers serve me right, is the amount of milk being produced in Tamil Nadu through the Cooperative Federation. Now, we talk about, the socialist side of, unfair prices in the market. But look at it from this perspective. If each of these farmers, and there are quite a few of them, I think 4.5 lakh producing members, together producing about 35 lakh liters per day, if each of them were being paid even a 10% increase in per liter of milk, is that not contributing back to the economy of the state? Is that not contributing to the welfare of the state? Is that not contributing to the tax that would be collected within the state, direct tax? And on the other side, even the GST collected on, let's say, a 52 rupees liter of milk versus a 39 rupees liter of milk, is that not contributing to the revenue of the state, which can then be deployed for better welfare? So, is it fair to assume in a macroeconomic sense that we want to safeguard the interests of only the consumers of the state, even at the cost of a reduced revenue for the farmer producers, the producing members, as well as the tax collection in the state?
Yeah, see, that's what I told you at the beginning of this conversation. I said it's about propriety. It's not just pure economic. You are saying capitalism is good. We are saying propriety is always better, because these are the farmers who have been supported so long by Aavin. So today, they are saying, okay, I'm giving you 2 rupees extra, fine, but tomorrow if they leave the state, what will happen to them? Whereas we are giving them security. We are giving them consistent buyout for the last 40 years. Who should they trust? Who will they trust? And milk is such an essential commodity. It has to be regulated by the respective state governments. If there are few packets of milk which has gone rotten, they will point it out to the state government. If there is no supply of milk in a particular area for one day, one time, the blame will be at the doorstep of the state government. So we have been regulating it so well, so long. We don't want that to be taken away by a capitalist system, by a behemoth, supported by the union government. The same thing happened in the state of Karnataka. They wanted Amul to compete against Nandini. They said, the people of Karnataka said a big dumping no. No, we are not going to allow that. Same in the state of Tamil Nadu. See, we are not allowing, we are not saying Amul should not sell its products here. Nobody can say that. Yes, please, Amul, come on. We like your advertisement. Sell your products. Sell everything. Whoever can afford, let them buy it. But we are opposed for Amul to purchase from the same milkshake area that has been nurtured by Aavin so long so far. That is the gist of what our Chief Minister has written. And probably, we don't know. We don't know what is the sinister design behind this move of Amul trying to take over all the other states. Probably the BJP is trying to have this one milk, one nation theory.
Right.
Because they are so fond of oneness.
Yeah, I just want to butt in here. You know, in 2014, Madurai Milk Federation, the farmers had a problem, and they went and procured milk from several other private players. So the thing is, it is also about the independence and also the business acumen of these farmers who are really, really very astute. No, Saravanan,
And
this way,
their income.
you can't muzzle them.
How can you muzzle them?
You can't muzzle them,
Let
no?
them sell their produce at a better price.
Exactly.
See, that's what I'm talking here about unfair competition. See, if there is a private player coming up and procuring milk and selling it to at a higher price or whatever price, we have no problem. But this is a state-backed entitlement. Do we have state governments fighting against each other? Or do we want that situation? Should we not respect the federalism? Should we not respect the ethos of the respective state government? If Amul is not a multicultural, multi-state cooperative society, if it is a private player, we'll have no problem. We know how to handle them.
But then this is
has a
against the
multi-state license, sir. It has a multi-state
license, doesn't it?
To procure, to process.
What?
Amul has a multi-state license, sir, to procure milk and to process milk
That's
from
what I
any
said.
state.
We are not talking. See, that's what
Why
I said.
not
We are
offer
not
the same
talking of
license?
legality. Yes,
So-
that's what I said. We are not talking about legality or economics. We are talking about propriety and the moral obligation of the state government.
Right. Let me, sorry, Saravanan. Let me now go to, you know, other guests also who've been waiting. Muralidharan, you heard what Saravanan Annadurai said. He speaks about, I think Saravanan has disconnected. I mean, after saying those gems, I think, you know. So I told you, na, Karthik, it's more about Tamil identity. And you know, you can't.
You're saying that you want to safeguard the ecosystem that you have created. You want to safeguard the ecosystem, but not the players of the ecosystem.
But you are building a barbed wire, I say.
And what is an ecosystem? The ecosystem is a group of people.
Yeah,
There is infrastructure, there is fodder, there are facilities, there is fertilizer, there is a lot others. But the core of an ecosystem are the people.
Exactly. You know, Muralidharan, you heard what Saravanan Annadurai said. I mean, I didn't find any logic in. Karthik is the expert with business and economics and commerce. I'm not. But even I could not find any kind of logic in his argument where he said, we are protecting their interest. I mean, how are you protecting them if you are not laying themselves open to competition which is fair and healthy and on even keel?
Sudha. So I need to ask this question. In fact, I would have loved to have Saravanan in the show when asking this question. There's another business which the state runs, okay, and nobody else can compete with the state, okay, which is the liquor business, the TASMAC.
TASMAC, of
30
course.
rupee liquor bottle is being sold at 113 rupees. Okay, that's the kind of milking they do with the consumer. If at all, you know, if it's a monopolistic business, if at all they really want to serve the consumer, they should be selling it at, you know, probably at 40 or 50 rupees per bottle. Today they're selling it at 130 rupees. And what welfare is he talking about? And the procurement, I'll tell you, there is so much muck in the procurement. What they do is they arm twist. You don't get all the brands in Tamil Nadu. The brands which pays the maximum bribe per crate is what being promoted by the government. Okay, and you don't get, see, you go to any other state, you know, you get whatever the brand. You can have a regular brand which you can consume, but in Tamil Nadu, what they serve you is what you need to drink.
Right.
and that's of the worst quality. And what is he talking about Amul alone here? Amul, I mean, what is he trying to compare? And he's saying that he wants the same monopolistic attitude.
Muralidharan, I like your kind of comparing alcohol to milk. I like it. That saying that if you drink milk even under, what is that tree? People will think it's kallu, which is alcohol. You actually proved it right just now. I'll come back to you. Narayanan Tirupati, Vice President of the BJP in Tamil Nadu, is also joining us. Narayanan, I want to know, when Aavin is doing a great job, the prices are something which the people of Tamil Nadu can afford. The supply is very good. I mean, they are very, very prompt. Of course, there are corruption cases here and there. But overall, then Stalin writing a letter to Amit Shah, some people would say, why do you need Amul here? We are happy with Aavin.
See, Amul is a brand, Aavin is a brand. We need to look like that only. And there is no legal bar on Amul coming to Tamil Nadu or Aavin going to Gujarat. What is the problem? You have, as you rightly said, you have a very good quality, you have very good supplies, and you say that the quality is extremely good. Even in fact, right from my childhood, every day I am buying Aavin only. But overall Tamil Nadu, it is only 14% that caters, Aavin, the total production. Aavin is having only 14% of the total production. So you have got around 86% of people in Tamil Nadu using other milk, not Aavin. So if you are afraid of, this Amul, fine, you tell that you are afraid of a brand, then that means that your quality is not good. See, absolutely, we all know that Mr. Nasser, who was the minister for Aavin, was dismissed by he was thrown away by Mr. Stalin, the chief minister, last week, because there were huge corruptions. And we all know that we have been saying in the last 2 years that Aavin has not done well. There are problems, and they have increased the price. The vendors are in big problem. They are in the street. They want more price, which the Aavin is refusing to pay. So many issues are there. So you can't say that Aavin is doing wonderfully well, and you are trying to say as if you have only grown Aavin, and now you are trying to say that Amul is owned by BJP or Amit Shah. Amul actually is, 1 year before independence of India. It started in 1945. So we need to understand that that is also a cooperative society. That is also in India. What is your problem? You have good quality, you have got good sales,
so that's what,
you have good market, everything is flourished.
Yeah, that's what, Narayanan, that whole thing is it about Tamil pride and an identity? That's what I started this show with. Or it's about economically kind of astute and smart. What Saravanan Annadurai said, and he, said it, his piece, and left. But it seems very clearly that because it's Amul, suppose it was called some other name and it belonged to some other state, I think things would be very different. Shyam Prasad Meka, I want to come to you and, just broaden this for us, because let's not limit ourselves to this argument, which is, it's not just about politics. But many would say, like I keep saying this, that with local brands, it's a habit, it's a cultural affinity. It's also about trust, that you trust this. We are made, I don't know across the world, but then we are made like that. I mean, the same toothpaste is used for generations. So I'm asking you something, that Amul coming there is fine, but why is it that it should become such a big slugfest, I say? There are other brands also. I go to Chennai very often. There is not just one brand of the dosa idli batter. There are at least 25. You like something, you buy it. You don't like it, you grind it at home. So why is there such a big song and dance being made about milk here?
No, Sudha. See, I think first thing we need to do is we need to resist our temptation to make it a socialism or capitalism kind of issue. It's not. It's not. Simple thing is, the Chief Minister's letter, what it is saying is, the problem it seems is it's not even Tamil pride or anything. If you discount for a minute any political angle to that, what the letter is saying is basically they have a problem when Amul comes and acquires the
milk sheds,
from their carefully nurtured milk sheds. That's what seems to be their issue. I think we need to give a chance to Union Cooperatives Ministry to come back, that is Mr. Amit Shah, to reply to this letter and see how both of them are going to resolve this issue. That's going to be cooperative federalism rather than finding a fault with just this letter
Rather than
or
competitive.
Yeah.
yeah. Let's see how they
Yeah,
will
that's
resolve
a very,
it.
that,
But
that's
the
a
issue
very
is
mature kind of response, Sham, from you, you know. Karthik, I also want to talk to you about when it comes to brands, there is also paranoia associated with it. You know, when we hear that a brand of bread is in short supply, you say it now.
You start holding it.
Yeah, क्यों? They'll tell you, Karthik, 4 packet मेरे लिए ले लेना.
Correct.
You
Put it
know?
in the freezer,
Freezer,
keep it
you
for
know,
the
we
rainy
do
day.
that. This way, by saying, oh, Amul, the bogey which is created around Amul particularly, you know how big it became in Karnataka,
That's
right?
right.
In Tamil Nadu also, the bogey of these are our farmers, we are protecting their rights, you are getting Aavin, look at the price difference. Is there a kind of a consumer paranoia also which is created in more ways than one?
See, I think for the consumer, like you had previously mentioned, you know, the price point will make a difference
Of course.
for the large section of population, which may be a little better off buying a 39 rupee liter of milk versus a 52 rupee liter of milk or 54 rupee liter of milk, right? So, a large section of the society is better off doing that. I think here we are specifically talking about protectionism. We are not talking about liberalization, we are talking a very retrograde suggestion of protectionism. Now, my fundamental question in this argument is that 1981 is when Aavin came into existence, right? And some of our panelists have been subscribing to that milk as well. Aavin, right? So, if Aavin came into existence in 1981, ma'am, it's been 42 years. Why hasn't it been able to become a national brand? Procure from Tamil Nadu, sell across the country,
Why not?
export outside the country
Yeah.
if the need be,
Yeah.
right? But since you have been protected and you have become used to that patronage, you're finding it difficult to compete. And that is not how mature economies
So
should
that's one
function.
kind of paranoia,
Survival of the fittest is what the rule of the law is.
Absolutely, and like Shyam Prasad said, let's not make it socialism versus capitalism. I think that's taking the argument a bit too far.
I agree.
You know, I'm completely running out of time. Ramesh, thank you for your patience. You really waited, and considering your family was in the milk business, let me give you the closing remarks on this. Ramesh, do you think, like Karthik said, that you know, if Aavin is such a great brand, why is Tamil Nadu not been able to kind of expand its footprint? Ramesh Sethuraman.
Thank you. So Saravanan, when he spoke, he was clearly mentioning that, you know, today Aavin is not, or the cooperative societies are not able to fulfill even 50% of the requirement of the state. Where are they going to do it for the entire country?
Right.
So that's where the problem is. They failed to have a vision. They failed to really take the steps necessary to improve milk production. Of course, I would give the credit to Jayalalitha, the past CM, who was giving cows and calves to the poor families in the villages, so that, you know, that same thing she did it for even goats and all. She was giving it to the poor families. So that was a scheme that was taken by the ADMK rule. But I don't think DMK is doing that. So that is actually a visionary step, I would say. Same thing. So are you giving any subsidy for the animal food? Are you giving any interest-free loan for the farmers to buy the cattle? Are you, instead of that, these people keep promoting beef and kind of stuff, of course you are encouraging people to kill the animal. So that's the way it is, and giving up the farming in the name of real estate boom, in the name of, same thing is happening with the animal industry and all these things. So this is where we are facing a lot of issues.
All right, and on that note, let me thank all of you. Ramesh, thank you so much. Sharan and Annadure, thank you. Nandri to Narayan and Tirupati, of course, and to Muralidharan and to Shyam Prasad Meka and Karthik. Many thanks, so much. Many thanks. And for all the news and analysis, keep watching News9 Live.